Imagine this. You're at a buddy's backyard barbecue on a warm summer evening, the kind where the grill's sizzling, beers are clinking, and everyone's kicking back, enjoying the vibe. You spot her near the fire pit, a woman with a laugh that grabs your attention, her confidence shining as she talks with a few other guys. You decide to make your move, walking over with a cold beer in hand, ready to win her over. You start chatting, throwing in some humor, asking her about her day, trying to be the charming guy who'll make her smile. You're putting in the effort, showing her you're interested, thinking this is how you'll get her to chase you, to see you as the man she can't get enough of. But as the night rolls on, her smiles fade to polite nods. Her eyes start drifting to the guy leaning against the fence, the one who's barely said a word, just sipping his drink, looking like he doesn't care who's watching. She excuses herself to grab another drink, but you catch her glancing his way as she walks off, leaving you standing there, feeling like you just missed the mark. You did everything you thought you should, kept her laughing, showed her you're a good guy. So why's she looking at him instead? Why does it feel like the harder you try to get her to chase you, the less she does? Why's the guy who doesn't seem to give a damn the one she can't stop staring at? This is the hard truth that hits you. You've been taught that getting a woman to chase you means being the guy who's always on, always trying to impress, always showing her how much you care with your attention, your charm, your effort. Society's got you thinking, be the nice guy, the one who makes her laugh, who proves he's worth her time by giving her everything he's got. But what if that's the exact thing pushing her away? What if women don't chase the guy who tries the hardest, but the guy who doesn't need to try at all? The one who's so real, so grounded in his own power, that she feels drawn to him without him even lifting a finger. What if making her chase you isn't about doing more, but about being more? More authentic, more in control, more unshakable in who you are. You've been there, haven't you? That sinking feeling of putting in all the work, planning the perfect hangout, keeping the conversation going, making sure she's having a good time, only to see her lose interest, like nothing you do is enough. The way you've tried to be the guy she'd want, maybe playing it safe, laughing at her jokes even if they're lame, or jumping to help her out, thinking that's what'll make her want you more, only to watch her drift off, leaving you wondering where you went wrong. The way you've been chasing her attention, thinking it's about showing her you're the guy she should pick, only to feel like you're always coming up short, like you're just another guy she can pass on, while the one who doesn't seem to care gets her hooked without even trying. Why does this keep happening? Why does trying to make her chase you by giving more leave you with less, while the guy who's just himself, who doesn't bend, becomes the one she can't stop thinking about? Arthur Schopenhauer, the philosopher who cuts straight to the core of human nature, saw this struggle through a lens most guys don't think about. He understood that attraction isn't about playing the part of the perfect man. It's about tapping into your authentic power, your raw will, the kind of strength that pulls her in without you even trying. In a world where men are stuck chasing her approval, Schopenhauer's ways offer a different path, a guide to make her chase you by being so real, so in control of your own power, that she can't help but be drawn to you. But why are we so caught up in this idea of winning her by giving everything, of losing ourselves in the chase at the cost of our own strength? What's really driving us to play this game the wrong way, and what's it costing us in the end? Let's dig into the hidden forces at play and figure out why you've been struggling to make her chase you and how to finally get it right. You felt the sting of her glancing at that other guy at the barbecue, the gut punch of putting in all that effort, your jokes, your charm, your push to be the guy she'd chase, only to watch her walk off, her attention drawn to the dude who didn't even seem to care. You've been told that getting a woman to chase you means being the guy who's always on, always trying to impress, always showing her how much you care with your attention and effort. But the hidden problem isn't that you're not doing enough. It's that you're doing it all wrong, chasing her approval instead of tapping into the raw, authentic power that actually pulls her in. Let's break down why you're stuck in this cycle of trying too hard and what Schopenhauer knew about the deeper forces keeping you from being the man she can't help but chase. Your brain's wired to want her to like you. But that's where the trap kicks in. You're built to seek connection. It's just human nature. When you go all out to win her over, cracking jokes, keeping the vibe light, making sure she's smiling, your brain gets a little dopamine hit. That feel-good rush that tells you you're on the right track. That she'll chase you if you keep it up. But here's the catch. That same wiring makes you scared of messing up. So your stress kicks in, pushing you to overthink everything. You start second-guessing. Did she laugh enough? Why is she looking away? Should I say something else? That fear of striking out spikes your cortisol, making you come off as desperate, even if you don't mean to. Studies show this. When you're too focused on her reaction, your stress levels go up. And that neediness makes you less attractive. Because you're showing you need her to feel good about yourself. Why does trying harder make you feel weaker? Because you're giving her all the power, letting her decide your worth instead of owning it yourself. Philosophically, this mess ties back to Schopenhauer's idea of the will, the raw primal force that drives all of us, often without us even knowing it. He said our desires aren't always rational. They're deep, instinctual, tied to survival, to power, to connection. For women, Schopenhauer thought this will often pulls them toward men who radiate a kind of unshakable strength, a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation, because that signals safety, something primal they can't ignore. But when you're out there trying to be the perfect guy, always agreeable, always chasing her smile, you're not showing that strength. You're showing weakness, a need for her to like you, which kills the instinctual pull Schopenhauer talked about. Nietzsche would add to this, saying most guys today are stuck in the herd mentality, living for others' approval instead of their own power. You've been taught to be the guy who fits in, who plays nice, but that's not what her deeper instincts are looking for. It's what makes her look right past you. Society's making it worse, feeding you the wrong game plan. Look around. Movies, social media, even your boys, they're all telling you to be the guy who does more, who's always there, who wins her over by showing how much he cares. Think about it. Every rom-com shows the guy chasing the girl, doing big gestures, proving he's the nice one she should pick. Dating apps push you to keep messaging, keep impressing, keep proving you're worth her time. But this whole setup's a lie. It's training you to give up your power, to make her the prize instead of you being the one worth chasing. Aldous Huxley warned about this in Brave New World, saying society keeps you chasing shallow goals so you never tap into your deeper strength. You see it all the time. The guy who's always texting first, always planning, always bending over backward, only to get ghosted for the guy who doesn't even try that hard. Carl Jung would say you're stuck because you're ignoring your shadow, the raw, unfiltered part of you that's been buried under all this nice guy stuff. That shadow's where your real power lives, the part of you that doesn't need her to feel whole, but you're scared to face it because it means letting go of what you've been taught. So what happens when you keep chasing her approval? Keep playing the nice guy, keep ignoring the authentic power Schopenhauer knew could make her chase you. What happens when you don't tap into the strength that could pull her in? The cost is bigger than you think, and it's already hitting you harder than you realize. Let's uncover what you're losing and why you can't keep going like this. You felt the sting of her walking away at that barbecue. The harsh reaction when you keep chasing her approval, always trying to be the funny guy, the nice guy, the one who's there for her every need. You think you're showing her you're worth chasing, that you're the kind of man she'd want to be with. But you're not building anything real. You're just putting on a show, and deep down, she can feel it. She might stick around for a bit, enjoying the attention, but over time, your neediness makes you forgettable. Someone she doesn't have to work to understand. Someone who doesn't spark that deeper pull Schopenhauer knew attraction thrives on. You felt it, right? The way she starts pulling back the more you try. The way her texts get shorter. The way she stops looking at you like you're someone she can't figure out. Social psychology calls this the scarcity effect. When you're too available, too eager, she loses interest because there's no challenge, no fire. You end up stuck in shallow connections, wondering why you can't get her to chase you, why you're always the friend, never the guy she can't stop thinking about. It's worse than that. It's tearing down your confidence too. Every time you chase her approval, every time you bend over backward to be what you think she wants, you're telling yourself you're not enough as you are. You start doubting yourself, replaying every moment in your head, wondering why you're not getting the reaction you want. That self-doubt builds up, and before you know it, you're caught in a loop of insecurity. Studies show this kind of rejection hits hard. Your brain pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone, which messes with your ability to think straight, makes you feel smaller, less sure of yourself. You've been there, haven't you? That feeling of walking away from her, overthinking every word you said, beating yourself up for not being enough, even though you gave it your all. It's not just her walking away. It's you losing a piece of yourself every time, feeling like you've got to keep changing to be wanted, when really, you're just burying the man you could be. Zoom out, and this shapes the whole world around you. When you keep chasing approval, always playing the nice guy, you're feeding into a dating culture where women are drawn to the guys who don't play that game. Guys who show the kind of authentic power Schopenhauer talked about. The kind that doesn't need validation. You're stuck competing with a million other guys doing the same thing, all trying to be the perfect man, while the guy who doesn't care, who's just himself, stands out without even trying. It's a cycle. Guys like you keep chasing, keep getting left behind, while women keep looking for something deeper, something real. There's even a term for this in psychology, the halo effect, where people are drawn to those who seem confident, self-assured, not the ones trying too hard to impress. Your neediness doesn't just hurt you. It keeps you stuck in a world where real connection slips through your fingers. This is bigger than you think. Every moment you spend chasing her approval, trying to be the guy you think she wants, is a moment you're not becoming the man who naturally pulls her in. The man who's got the authentic power Schopenhauer knew could make her chase you without even trying. You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache of knowing you could be more. The fear that you're stuck in this loop of effort and rejection, losing more than just her interest. If you keep going like this, what's next? Your confidence? Your relationships? Your whole sense of self? There's a way out, a rebellion against this trap, a path to make her chase you the way Schopenhauer meant. Let's take that step and find out how to break free for good. You felt the sting of her walking away at that barbecue, the heavy cost of chasing her approval, trying to be the funny guy, the nice guy, the one she'd chase, only to watch her drift off. Drawn to the dude who didn't even try. You've seen how this chase has cost you your confidence, your relationships, and your sense of self, leaving you stuck in a loop where the harder you push, the less she wants you. But here's the rebellion Schopenhauer's wisdom pushes you to take on. Stop trying to win her attention and start owning your authentic power. The guy who makes a woman chase him isn't the one who begs for her to notice. He's the one who's so real, so grounded in his own strength, that she can't help but be drawn to him. Not because he tried, but because he's a force she can't ignore. This shift is your way out. A path to make her chase you by tapping into the raw power inside you, becoming the man she can't resist. First, stop caring so much about what she thinks of you. You've been caught up in trying to be the guy she'd like, always saying the right thing, always being the nice guy, always worried about messing up. But Schopenhauer knew that women's deepest instincts are drawn to a man who doesn't need their validation, a man who's rooted in his own will, that primal strength that radiates without words. Next time you're with her, at a bar, a coffee shop, wherever, don't let your mind spiral into overthinking. Don't worry if she's smiling enough or if she's into you. Just be there, in the moment, saying what's real to you, not what you think she wants to hear. If she's quiet, don't rush to fill the silence with more charm. Let it sit. Let her feel your calm. Psychologically, this detachment lowers your stress, keeping your cortisol levels down, which makes you come off as more confident, more grounded. Try this today. Next time you're with her, pause for a few seconds before you respond to her. Let her feel your stillness and watch how she starts leaning in, drawn to your quiet strength. Next, own your rough edges instead of hiding them. You've been playing it safe, toning down your opinions, trying to be the guy who doesn't rock the boat because you're scared she won't like the real you. But Schopenhauer saw that the will in us, our raw, unfiltered drive, is what makes us magnetic, not some polished version of ourselves. Stop pretending to agree with everything she says. If you've got a strong opinion, say it, even if it's different from hers. If you're into something she might not get, like working on cars, gaming, or some nerdy hobby, don't hide it, share it with pride. At a hangout, don't be afraid to walk away from a boring conversation, to grab a drink, or talk to someone else. Show her you've got your own life, your own vibe. This kind of authenticity hits her on a primal level, speaking to the instincts Schopenhauer talked about, the ones that crave a man who's real, not a people pleaser. Start now. Next time you're with her, say one thing you really feel, even if it's a bit bold, and watch how she reacts to the real you. Finally, build your own world and let her chase to be part of it. You've been making her the center of your universe, always focused on her, always trying to fit into her life, because you think that's what'll make her chase you. But Schopenhauer knew that real power comes from self-sufficiency, from having a life so solid that she wants in. Focus on what makes you feel alive, your work, your hobbies, your crew. If you're into fitness, hit the gym hard and let her see you're a man who takes care of himself. If you've got a side hustle, grind on it and talk about it with fire in your eyes. Historically, guys like Henry David Thoreau, who lived on their own terms out in nature, drew people in because they had their own world. They didn't need anyone to complete them. You can do the same, showing her you're a man with a life worth joining, not a guy begging for her attention. Do this today. Pick one thing you love doing, spend an hour on it, and feel the strength of having your own world. She'll feel it too. This rebellion goes against everything you've been taught. Society will tell you to keep chasing, keep being the nice guy, keep giving her everything. But every time you let go of her approval, own your edges, and build your own world, you take back your power. You'll feel it. Her eyes lock on you. her interest grows, and you start becoming the man she can't resist. Schopenhauer's ways aren't about playing games. They're about being the man who naturally makes her chase you, just by being in control of your own power. As we head to the final truth, you'll see how this rebellion isn't just a way to break free. It's a way to become the man she can't help but chase. You ready to step into that power? You've rebelled against the trap of chasing her approval at that barbecue. Embracing your raw self, owning your edges, and building your own world. Shifting the dynamic so her eyes lock on you, her interest sparks, and your presence becomes a force she can't ignore. You've stopped being the nice guy who gives everything, choosing instead to be the man who stands in his own power, who makes her chase him without even trying, drawing her in just by being real. But here's the ultimate truth Schopenhauer's philosophy reveals. You don't make her chase you by chasing her. You make her chase you by chasing your own power. The man who truly gets a woman to chase him isn't the one who runs after her desire. He's the one who runs after his own, becoming so rooted in his authentic will, so complete in his own strength, that his very existence pulls her in like a magnet. Not because he tried, but because he's a force she can't resist. This truth flips everything you thought you knew, turning your chase into confidence, your doubt into power, and your life into something she can't help but want to be part of. Schopenhauer saw the will as the core of who we are, a raw, primal drive that shapes our deepest desires, often without us even knowing it. For women, he believed this will draws them to men who radiate a kind of unshakable strength, a self-assurance that doesn't bend to anyone's approval, because it signals something primal: safety, power, a man who can stand on his own. You've been chasing her desire by trying to be what she wants, giving her all your time, your energy, your attention. But the ultimate truth flips that on its head. Her deepest desire isn't for the man who gives her everything. It's for the man who has everything, the one who's so in control of his own will that she feels the pull without him even trying. When you stop caring about her validation, when you own your rough edges, when you build your own world, you're not just attracting her, you're making her chase you, speaking to the part of her that Schopenhauer knew craves a man who's whole, not a man who's begging to be chosen. You become the man she chases, not by running after her, but by running after your own power. Philosophically, this truth echoes Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, the man who lives for his own strength, not for the approval of the herd. The frustration of her walking away, the exhaustion of trying to be enough, the insecurity of not getting her attention, it all comes from tying your worth to her desire, from thinking you need her to feel like a man. But when you chase your own power, when you become the man who doesn't need her to feel whole, you break free. Carl Jung would add that this is about facing your shadow, the raw, unfiltered parts of you you've been hiding to be nice, and integrating them into who you are. You don't need her to chase you to feel strong. You become the kind of man she can't help but chase, because you've become the kind of man you respect. A man who's real, not a man who's performing. Psychologically, this shift is a game changer. Chasing her approval keeps your brain in a stress loop, spiking cortisol, making you feel smaller with every rejection. But when you focus on your own power, when you live for yourself, you break that cycle. Your brain calms down, your confidence grows, and you start showing up as a man who's grounded, not a man who's grasping. Studies show that self-assured men, guys who don't need external validation, trigger attraction on a deeper level because they signal emotional stability, something women's instincts are wired to seek. You'll notice it. Conversations get deeper, her eyes linger longer, and you start building connections that feel real, not because you chased her, but because you became a man worth chasing. This changes everything about how you show up. You're not the guy you were, the one who overtried, who doubted himself, who lived for her attention. You're a man who knows his power, who makes her chase him just by being, who pulls her in without even trying. Think of guys like Steve McQueen, whose quiet, rugged confidence made women fall without him ever begging for their affection. You can do the same, making every moment a reflection of your strength, every silence a chance to show your power. Picture this, you're back at that barbecue, but now she's the one walking over to you, her eyes locked on the man who doesn't need her to shine, because you already do. This is Schopenhauer's ultimate truth. Authentic power makes her chase you, and when you live it, she'll feel it. Not because you chased her, but because you chased yourself. Step into that power, live it, and let it change everything. You've walked through the sting of being brushed off at that barbecue, felt the heavy cost of chasing her approval, and uncovered how it's been holding you back from the deep, primal connection you've been craving. You've learned Schopenhauer's ultimate truth. Making her chase you isn't about running after her. It's about running after your own power, becoming so rooted in your authentic will that she can't help but be drawn to you. Not because you tried, but because you're a force she can't ignore. You're not the guy you were, the one who overtried, who doubted himself, who lived for her attention. You're a man who owns his strength, who lives for himself, radiating a power she feels without you saying a word. Start today. Take one small step to own your power. Next time you're with her, say what you really think, even if it's a bit bold, and watch how she starts chasing you, her eyes locked on the man who doesn't need her to shine. Keep this up in every moment, and feel the shift. Her desire grows, her attention sharpens, and you become the man she can't resist just by being real. How does it feel to stand in your own power, to be the guy she chases without even trying? Drop a comment below. What's one bold thing you'll say or do next time you see her, and how'd it change the vibe? Your story might just fire up another guy to break free from the chase. If this hit home for you, smash that like button. It lets us know you want more content like this. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next dive into raw, real attraction. Share this with a buddy who's been stuck trying too hard, feeling like he's not enough. He might need this to step into his own strength. The world's gonna keep telling you to chase, to bend, to be the nice guy. But now you know the truth. You don't need her to be whole. You're the power, the fire, the man who makes her chase you just by being real. Live that truth, own it, and build a life where she's chasing you. Not because you tried, but because you're the man she can't resist. You're not just another guy. You're the one she can't forget. And that changes everything.